Welcome everybody to Dana 320. This is the Meet Your Instructor video to find out a little bit more about me. So let's get to it. My name is Colton Gearhart. I am not very formal though, so feel free to just call me by my first name, Colton. And I am from the Northern Kentucky area, and that's where I have lived most of my life. Then we'll get into, but I moved to Ohio for grad school and then finally here to Indiana for Ball State. So I am completing my official tri-state living experience. A little bit more about me outside of the classroom. So back at home, I have two pets. I have the coolest cat ever. His name is Kix. He has the most fluffiest tail you will ever find. I dare you to find a more fluffy tail. You can maybe see it in this picture here. There is him and then our poodle named Kizzy. She is a total princess, so spoiled. All right, a little bit more of my interests outside of the classroom. I love to cook, so here are a few recipes that I've made, and then I'm also a huge soccer fan. And my favorite team is Liverpool, which if you're not familiar, they are a soccer team in England. And then I also love to support Duke basketball. Don't really have a connection to them, but I just grew up liking them. And of course, now I am a Ball State fan as well. I also love to travel. So my first big adventure was when I went out west for a national park trips. So we went to like Arizona, Utah, Montana, all those states. And here are some of my favorite pictures from the trip. I think this one was from Arches National Park. And then at Yellowstone, we got to see a buffalo traffic jam, but I was going the other way, so thankfully I did not have to wait 3 hours to get into Yellowstone. And then 2 summers ago, I went into Puerto Rico, and this was kind of my first so-called international trip. So I got to see lots of castles, caves, forests, and that was a lot of fun. And then more recently, I went to Italy and Switzerland over the summer. So, of course, we saw the Colosseum. We kind of started in Rome and then kind of worked our way up to Switzerland. And that's where we did a ton of hiking. And this was probably the favorite hike that we did. This was like 4 or 5 hours hiking with this crazy blue water. This was probably the most beautiful place that I've ever been. And then we, of course, saw Venice as well. And then this picture up here in the corner, that's kind of on the south of Italy, where the beaches with the huge cliffs are. And we saw Matterhorn as well. Went up to one of the tallest peaks in Europe to a very icy, very snowy, very cold mountain. So one thing I'd love to know about you is where have you been? I'd love to hear about your travel stories when you come in and visit me during office hours sometimes. So a little bit more professional now. So background, I went to Northern Kentucky University where I graduated in 2018 with a bachelor's in mathematics and statistics. And then, like I said, I went to Miami, Ohio for graduate school, and I finished up in 2020, and I got a master's degree in statistics. So I have all 3 of my logos now here, including where I currently am at Ball State. Go Cards. So professional experience, how did I get into teaching? So my first experience was when I was a graduate assistant at Miami, and that is when I kind of helped with introductory statistics classes. And that's when I really first kind of started working with students in a formal setting. And then I started teaching by myself at 2 community colleges in Ohio, so Cincinnati State and Columbus State, and I again still taught some intro classes for 2 semesters. And then I finally moved here to Ball State in 2021, where I now teach Math 125, Math 320 Probability, 321 Statistics, and of course, Dana 320 Data Visualization. So very excited about the courses that I'm teaching. And I know this is going to be an online kind of asynchronous, so it's a little bit different flavor than a typical class that maybe you are used to. But my teaching philosophy kind of still applies to this structure as well. So in general, I like to try to create a very encouraging environment where I want you to take an active part in your learning. So that means, right, feeling comfortable to share your ideas, ask questions to me in a regular class setting, ask questions to your classmates as well, and just a lot of collaboration and a lot of bouncing ideas off each other. I think that is going to be the best way to learn. So throughout this course, how am I going to do that? Through this online setting. So the lectures, quote, that we're going to have, there are going to be lots of opportunities for you to work on problems within the actual lecture videos. And those are going to be great practice, right? They're going to reinforce the ideas that are covered in the actual content. And that's going to be where you can start to kind of try the ideas out on your own without full guidance from me. So there's going to be a ton of participation opportunities, even though we're in this kind of distance setting. So why do I like to teach like this? So I just think class, especially in person, is going to be way more fun if everyone is involved. And I think this still extends to online classes as well. So I want to have lots of interactions between you and me. And also at some point, we're going to have some activities where you'll be kind of working on a discussion board with your classmates as well. So I really believe that community is a very important part of learning. So throughout this course, right, I'm going to be trying to engage you all as much as possible, kind of create a nice little Dana 320 community that we can all take part in. And that's kind of my challenge to you as well. So I hope that you can kind of take this and want to ask me questions, want to be engaged, want to do all the exercises. And I think that the class will be more enjoyable for you and you will get more out of it and it will be a lot more rewarding. So I think that's about it. So stay tuned for the next video.